People often ask me, what's it like for you inside, experientially, when you're working with someone? Which is a really good question because I don't proceed when I'm working with someone based on some concept or formula or some linear strategy. I just come as much as I can into the present moment. And I'm paying attention inside of me in the present moment. I'm listening and I'm paying attention to the person I'm with. And it gets a little more complicated because there's a lot of levels that I'm paying attention to inside. There's my feelings, there's my thoughts, there's my intuition. I'm paying attention to my body, and the same with them. But I seem to find a way to just out of curiosity, more than anything else, relax. And there's almost like a detective that's energetically paying attention to nuance. And I'm paying attention to where is the energy moving or calling out from the person or to me. And then guidance comes. And I might say something like, and I never presume my guidance is accurate. It often is accurate, but I don't presume it. For me to be in touch with my intuition, there has to be humility, and I'm okay with not knowing. So, but I ask, I say, it seems to me when you're talking about your dad, there's like a lilt in your voice that just reminds me of a young child. And I just wonder, what's it like for you to talk about your dad? What was your dad like for you? So then I just open up like a canvas of curiosity and inquiry. And because now my training and my experience is that I get my intuitive reads from the person. Someone says, how did you think to mention about that? My dad used to say that. No one knows that. And I would say, I got it from you because I'm paying attention to you. It's kind of like I'm reading a book and I see the words there. And so as I start to actually attune to energy, attune to different levels, and I share transparently what I'm getting, even if it goes in a different direction than we thought, then the client starts paying attention. And so they start paying more attention to their inner world in response to my responding to their inner world. So then we've got two curiosities going, which is a really lovely thing. It's a very intimate thing. And often it's led by questions more than anything. I had a session yesterday, I was working with someone, and I said, well, you're the youngest child of 3. I'm just curious, what was it like being in the family? She was the third daughter, and you had 2 older sisters. It's like, what was that like for you? How did your family make decisions? What did you do? What kind of challenges did you guys face? Where did you fit in with all of that? And that inquiry often is directly relevant to what the person is facing now in her marriage, frankly. And so I just, again, start constructing like an attuned hypothesis about what's happening. And often it opens up new territory, and energy responds to energy being inquired, and it starts to move. And there's a direction that starts to open up, and you can see in their eyes. It's like, wow, this is important, what we're talking about. I've never talked about this before. I said, neither have I. But it is kind of like painting on a canvas where there's no lines, those paint by numbers. It's not like that. It's like the canvas and the colors, whatever I'm painting, just starts to show itself while I'm working with somebody. It's a very pleasurable thing for me to do. There's a sincerity, there's an innocence, there's a humility, but I'm just like steeped in the present, and I'm fascinated. It's awe for me to be welcomed into someone's consciousness is one of the most glorious things in the world. I feel like it's a privilege. It feels like sacred territory, and I treat it that way. And they feel that, they know that. And usually they haven't had anybody tend to them, the different levels of them and what they're experiencing. Someone with empathy, someone who's curious. And I think the sincerity of my heart and my curiosity just opens up energy fields and opens up discoveries. And then there's revelations. And then we begin talking about what happened when they were younger, what's happening in their marriage. Is there a relationship? And often there is. And so when I start a session, I never know where it's going to go. And for some reason, I'm eminently comfortable with that experience. It's like me like swimming in a cove that I've never been in before. It's always brand new. Even if I work with the same person over and over years, each time is different. It's unique. And I love that. So I do feel a little bit like I'm an artist in the midst of an artistic creation that involves me and the other person and some intelligent orchestrating energy field that is helping us knit something together that matches the client's intention and answers their prayers. And often revelations will come, discoveries will come, emotions will come. And I have this eminent trust in creation that unfolds moment to moment to moment. And I feel so privileged to be such a primary player in that. But it's been that way for me ever since I woke up and had this experience the first time when I was 25. I would just get immersed in the pool of consciousness with all the different levels. And they talk to me, and then I share what I hear, and someone wakes up. They opened a new territory they haven't opened to before. And it usually is going in a direction that we had not anticipated, but I trust it. It's really pleasurable, really, and I can't believe people pay me so much for doing what I love to do so much. It's kind of